The Vuelta enters Andorra today and reaches the Pyrenees. It's another short stage, just 155 kilometres, and it means it's going to be another fast start as riders search to get into that early breakaway.
The first 40k's are downhill, but at the same time also only part of the stage without a climb. After 50 kilometres, the peloton enters Andorra, and 10k's later it's time for the first intermediate sprint. From here on, the road starts to kick up. Port de Envalira is this year's Cima Alberto Fernandez and has 20 KOM points for the first rider over the top, who also wins the prize of €1,000. In the unlikely event that the KOM jersey ends with a tie, the winner will be the first rider over this climb. The 26.7 kilometres towards the top of Port de Envalira have an average gradient of 5.2% and a couple of parts of 15%. There are still 68.4 kilometres to go from here, but this second part of the stage includes no less than 3 difficult climbs. The first one, Col de Ordino, starts after 108 kilometres. It's 8.8 kilometres long, but with an average gradient of just 4.9%, it's not going to make a big selection in the peloton. After a tricky descent from Col de Ordino, it's time for the next climb of the day, the Alto de la Colmena. It's another soft climb with an average of just 5%, and the 4Ks to the top shouldn't trouble the big favourites. The descent from Alto de la Colmena isn't very difficult, and after reaching Aix-Sauvaille, it's time for the final struggle as the riders take on Collada de la Gallina. Last year, the 7.2 kilometres towards the top gave us a spectacular stage, with Alberto Contador getting caught just a few metres from the finish line by Alejandro Valverde and Joaquim Rodriguez.
The climb has an average gradient of 8%, with parts as steep as 15% on the way to the top. The final kilometre has an average of 10%, and we now know just how important it is to have something left in the tank for that final turn.
The general classification favourites and the stages on which they're likely to show their cars, but it is worth noting there are some flat stages at this year's Tour of Spain, 6 to be precise. Now, the best sprinters in the world have